Grandpa Ken Show. I am Grandpa Ken. I'm doing a quick review here on what the elections and what everything means about it. Why anybody would want to run for president or any type of office is kind of beyond me, because it's kind of a crazy deal right now. The reason why I'm saying that is because everybody's up on Trump, everybody's up on Hillary, and now this Bernie Sanders guy, all this other stuff. It really is like a circus out there. But here's something that nobody has looked at yet, and it's something that I came across last night, and that I had to do something with it. If you look at everything that President Obama, at this time, what he has done and accomplished so far, there's actually 50 top things that he's done. He's passed the health care reform. Big time failure, okay? And the stimulus, it didn't help. Okay, the Wall Street reform, that didn't do any good. He ended the war in Iraq, kind of, until ISIS got in there. He broke down or drew down the war in Afghanistan. ISIS is in there. I can go on and on and on and on. And then he also recapitalized banks, which, you know, why people do that, I don't know. It just kind of turns my stomach when things like that happen, if the banks haven't federally insured enough to take care of themselves. But the big thing is he's gone around and he's opened up countries that we would normally not deal with. It's something that Nixon did years ago. When Richard Nixon was president, he opened up China, and look, now everything's made in China. And all these companies are going abroad because of what Richard Nixon did. I really, at one time, liked Richard Nixon, but now that I see all the chaos that's become of it, you see that he never really looked into the future of it. So here comes Obama, and he opens up one of the worst countries to open up and lift tariffs and the whole bit. He opened up Iran. Okay, the people of Iran, I have no problem with them, because I know people from Iran, and a lot of them are awesome people. It is the government of Iran that is just really absurd and super, super bad. So what does he do? He opens them up. And he said there is no problems, no nuclear weapons, no nothing on my watch. Well, his watch is winding down so fast that, you know, I'm sure the Iranians are sitting on their hands and holding their breath thinking, I can't wait till he's gone, because they're going to open up a whole can of worms. I'm sure they are. Then he goes and he opens up Cuba. Okay, Cuba is 90 miles away from the U.S. 90 miles. That's a perfect opening for somebody like Russia, somebody like China, somebody like Iran, to do whatever they want. Even North Korea. I mean, if they struck a deal with them, you never know. I mean, it sounds really way out of there, but you never really know what the capabilities of a regime like that can do. I mean, money talks, all kinds of things. I mean, and promises are always on the table. So that's what worries me the most. Now, I wouldn't, want to be Donald Trump. And Donald Trump supporters, you've got to really think this out. I'm not telling you to not vote for him, because you know what? If you really believe in your candidate failing in 4 years, that's what you're voting for. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Obama has set up this country for two things. One, we're going into recession. If you look and read all the different data coming out of all the advisors and all the people that forecast our country, basically the financial status of our country and the direction that our country is headed, I would say at least 85% of them are headed, saying we're headed towards another recession. So that's the first thing that Donald Trump's going to have to deal with. And so is Hillary Clinton, and so is Bernie Sanders. Each one of those have to deal with the major thing. Our country going into another recession. And we don't even know how deep, because Obama has put this country in so much red tape right now and so much debt that, you know what, to get out, it's going to be just a feat that I don't think anybody really has the capability of doing at this time. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they're looking at is war. And the reason why I'm saying that they're looking at war is because you've got Cuba, you've got, and which is really close, you've got Iran, you've got North Korea, you've got the Chinese, and the Chinese have been setting up for something for years. And you could tell just by looking at satellite data, and if you follow any programs that deal and follow China, you could see that the Chinese are protecting themselves or gearing up for something here in the near future, and they're doing it at a fast pace. Another one is Russia. Now, Russia, I know Trump saying that him and Putin are super good friends and this and that and the other, but when they become political leaders, that's a whole different ballgame. You could shake your hand as a person and like each other, but when it comes to a politician and making political decisions, that's another thing. You can walk away from a table being friends, but walking away from a political idea or political agenda as friends is really not as hard or as easy as you think it is. There are so many different things on the table when you do that, and people just aren't thinking about it. Now, Hillary Clinton, another one that says that she could deal with Putin. I really don't think anybody has any capable of idea of what Putin is really all about and what his capabilities or plans are. I really think he's another tyrant that really wants to take over the world. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But, you know, people of Russia seem to like him, and he's doing okay, according to a fact sheet that I wrote, or that I was reading the other day, that Putin's levels of, I don't know if they were fabricated or not, but his approval levels were pretty high. They were in their 70s, which is pretty good. So what I'm really concerned at, and the reason why I'm making this, is when you go to vote, you've got to look at what you're voting for the future. Does your candidate, see, so far Trump hasn't said anything that he's going to do. And the reason why he's not saying it is because he's more liberal than conservative. And if he does start talking that right now, he's going to lose all his conservative people. And that's all there is to it. And plus, he's going to lose a lot of independents at the same time. So he's smart enough to stay away from that right now. But I'm an independent, and I know what he's going to do. So, I mean, he's been a liberal all his life. So why? Most businessmen that are up on the chain of ladder, that are millionaires and billionaires and people that are dealing in lots of money, they fall towards the Democratic Party because here's the philosophy, that the Democratic Party seems to make more money, and people make more money during the Democratic presidency than any other. There's a reason for that, because when you make money, somebody has to suffer. And guess what? That's what he's all about. And nobody seems to see it. But here's the downfall, that if he becomes president, if Donald Trump becomes president, he's going to have to face all these things that President Obama has set up. All these things. And even though we may not see anything happen on Obama's watch, the next president really has a lot of work to do. Now, I know that, we're supposed to get a wall, and there are all these other things that are going to happen. We're going to be great again. We're going to be great again. I really can't see in a 4-year term how America's going to be great again with being set up like this. And I'm not talking bad about Donald. I'm talking about bad about anybody that can get into office right now. I'm glad Ted Cruz is out. I'm glad Rubio is out. I'm glad a lot of these people are out that I, really liked and backed. I'm glad they're out for one reason. Because I know that if it was their watch, it would be a 4-term, it would be a 1-term presidency, 4 years you're gone. Because we're going to be most likely going to be in a war state. We're probably going to be in a super bad financial state. I don't care, what you do. Once the world starts collapsing, if you look around the world and you start looking at all these different failed loans that all these different governments are failing at and saying, we have to restructure this. If you look at how many are happening today worldwide, you would be amazed. And when that starts happening, it's a trickle-down effect. Trickle-down effect means somebody's going to have to suffer in the long run. That means America. Between America and China are going to be the two big sufferers for this. The number one is us, because we don't devalue our money like China does. China devalues their money, so that way, they're not going to take a huge hit. It's not going to hurt them that much. Their people maybe, but not the government. But us, being the United States, being the honest, so-called honest state, we're going to actually be taking a huge, huge loss. Now, I'm not saying be scared, run for the hills, or anything like that. I'm just saying be prepared, because the promises that are being made to you by all three candidates are false. And I'm saying it direct, and I'm saying it to all candidates, be it Democrat or Republican, be it the Libertarian, doesn't matter who you are. All these candidates are going to be faced with a lot on their plate the first 100 days. And I'm saying that because watch Iran, watch China, watch North Korea, watch Cuba, watch every one of these states that Obama has opened up. And plus he tried to sell out our internet, which would have been a huge mistake. I'm glad he didn't get to that point. But if those things fall in line, that is a lot of work to do just in the first 100 days. And a lot of people saying there's not going to be any wall built. There may or there may not be a big wall built. I don't really care at this point. My biggest point right now is that we have been set up for failure for this election. And if people don't see that, then what's going to end up happening is the next presidential candidate that gets in there for 2020, they're really going to have a battle no matter what side it is. It depends on who gets in office, either Republican or Democrat. I'm thinking that Donald Trump is probably going to end up getting it, and he's going to end up failing. I don't really want to see the man fail. I really wish that he can turn around the Republican Party into a positive note, and that he can actually make this country great again like he's saying. But with the impossibilities that have been put on his plate, he doesn't know the half of it yet. He's going to have a lot of hard decisions to make. There's going to be a lot of people hurt over this. A lot of financial problems gone wrong over this. And because of it, he may be a one-term president. And there's a good possibility he will be a one-term president, because of the fact of the matter is that he would have let every one of the Trumpers down. But you know what? I'll be quite honest with you. It's not him that's letting the Trumpers down. It's Obama that has set any president that's headed into office right now headed for failure. And that's all there is to it. Honestly, whoever gets into office is headed for failure. Mark my words on this. You will see the first 100 days of the next presidency will be the roughest days of any president, with the exception of 3 presidents that I can think of off the top of my head, out of all the different presidents we've had. With that, I sure hope you take this to heart when you go vote. And please vote with your conscience, and don't make any mistakes in the future, and know that the next president we get, we have to trust that president to make the country better, rather than go make deals like this. With that, I am Grandpa Kent. I bid you good day.
Bye.